What's up, guys? Welcome to the Stop Crying, Call Ryan podcast. In this episode, you're not going to miss out. You're going to make sure to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for the whole thing. So we're going to cover why being a landlord sucks, the benefits of doing an alternative called being a lien lord, creating seller finance notes, and how that can help build your passive income and net worth. We're also going to cover the importance of having a business coach or mentor, and I'm going to show you how he's helped me get into the passive income game, build my net worth, and help me from making thousands and thousands of dollars of dumb mistakes and possibly putting me out the game. How much money can I generate each month off of the investments that I make to cover my business, to cover my lifestyle, to cover my expenses? So, passive income is the number one play. Your net worth will fluctuate up and down based on different types of things, but, how high can I get my passive income? Goal right now is 100K a month passive is what I'm trying to get up to. And so it's like, how can I speed that up as fast as possible through the tools and things that we have? So investment properties, I'm really passionate about playing the bank. Like, I love doing seller finance note creation. A lot of our partners and teammates in some of my wealth builder groups are like dumping all their single family residences and rolling them into bigger, larger, like commercial assets that are less noisy. Rents are kind of down across the board right now. And, I think people get burned pretty good. Like I'm going to be a real estate investor guy comes in, puts a lot of money down on a rental, maybe overpays for it. He's losing money each month as far as cash flow goes. The tenant trashes the place, the AC goes out, and they just lost their whole life savings, right? And they're just like, oh man, this is horrible. Whereas, if I'm creating seller finance notes, I'm creating the debt, so I'm playing the bank, and people will own the house, they just have to pay me. So I don't fix toilets, I don't do any repairs, I don't do anything, so.
So what, I've never heard the term seller finance note, so.
Yep, so basically, I play a lot in the land and manufactured home arena because we're creating opportunities for people that, one, may not normally qualify to buy a home. We can qualify them through seller financing, and two, it's affordable housing. So there's an affordable housing shortage nationally, right? So we're creating affordable housing opportunities for people that can come in and buy property. So I can give you an example. So say I buy a manufactured home on owned land. We don't do leased land. It has to be owned, attached, real property, all that stuff. May or may not be lendable. We'll buy stuff sub 1976. We'll buy newer stuff just depending on the deal. So say I buy something at $60,000, I clean it out. We don't do much rehab on our stuff. We usually list as is. I'll throw it up, say, for $120,000 with owner carry option with $20,000 down, right? Okay. So I'll capture a $100,000 note, and we usually put our notes out at starting at like 9.95% up to like 11.95%. I took 20 grand down, so now I'm into it for $40,000, right? And I'm getting $1,200 a month for the next 30 years off my $40,000. So my cash on cash return on that is probably roughly 35-40%. I'll be made whole probably in 24 to 36 months, and then I'm gonna get $1,200 a month for the remainder 27 years of the term if they go the full term, unless they cash or pay me out, right?
That's awesome.
So people right now here locally are struggling to get like a 3-4 cap, and I'm getting 35-40% on my money, right? So we're doing that as much as we possibly can, and it's great for the buyer. They're actually in a property. We run them through, if it's a primary residence, they plan to occupy it, we run it through a third-party RMLO system where they actually do have to prove that they can income qualify for the home. Debt to income ratio typically needs to be below 43%. If they have poor credit, that doesn't matter. We can use alternate trade lines like 12 months of Netflix bill or Verizon bill or whatever. We just need to see 2 bills that they've been paying on time for 12 months, electric bill, whatever the case may be, and then we can get them essentially Dodd-Frank compliant, so that makes my note worth more money. If we had any issues where they weren't paying me, I have no problem with foreclosing and taking the property back and all that stuff. Okay. But we run our monthly rent, our monthly mortgage payments like right underneath market rent. So if they ever go to not pay me, they're gonna say, hey, well, if I go rent down the street, it's going to cost me $200 more, and I already put $20,000 down on this place. So why would I ever want to let this place go? And I'm building equity and I have a home and all that stuff, right?
And the security deposit and all the things that go along with renting.
Yeah,
To make it hard to get.
Yeah, all that stuff for people, and then they're the one improving the property and all that stuff, and then we set it up through a third-party servicing company that's super cheap. It's probably $20 a month to collect payment for me, sends out letters if they're late and all that stuff. And I basically have a portal. I log in, I can see all my notes, where they're paying and where they're not, and then it's basically just deposit in my account every month. So it's super passive once it gets set up, and I'm not dealing with repairs or anything. I just got to make sure they pay me.
So if you were me and you were somebody that would be, a Joe off the street, and you would be interested in getting into something like that, but they had the capital but not like the time or necessarily the interest, is that a service that you could provide? If I would come to you and say, hey, I have this extra cash, I want you to do that for me. I want to do that, but I just don't want to do it.
Right.
Is that an option?
Yeah, I can show you how to do it. We have a lot of opportunities out for sale right now. We probably have 20 some properties out for sale right now that could work for seller financing. It's just the way that we can show you how you market and how to capture those notes. As I keep going, I can sell partials of my notes to people too. So it's like, hey, how much money do you have laying around and what's your anticipated return? If you're like, oh, I want 8% of my money and I got 50 grand, I could sell you partial payments off of my notes. So say I'm going to pay you 8% on your $50,000 for the next 5 years, and then I could recoup some of the money that I've tied up in some of the notes, and then you get your 8%, and you'd hope that I didn't pay you because you could take an asset that's worth a lot more or has more debt on it, right?
Yeah.
That's an opportunity. How I got started in note investing is my business coach pushed me into buying a note that was already created to do my first one before I started creating my own notes. So there's websites like Notes Direct and Paper Stack where you can go out there and buy performing or non-performing notes. I would always recommend buying a performing note. You don't want to have your first note be non-performing because it could open a lot of can of worms and headaches if you're not taking payment, and you got to be able to foreclose, and you want to make sure you're buying it right. But you want to look for opportunities where a balance. So like, for example, the first one I bought's in Michigan. I had like $40,000 sitting in my savings account earning no money, right? So I'm like, what should I do with this? So we found a note that was paying, I think, 10.99%. The balance was like $40-some thousand. Or the cost of the note was like 40 grand. They owed like 50, right? So I'm getting $10,000 in net worth bump there. I'm getting paid 11% on the 40, and the house was worth like 80. So I was like, okay. And then you got to do your due diligence, make sure you're paying. You want to look at payment histories through servicers and the documentation they have on the property and all that stuff, and make sure it's an asset that you do want to take back if you had to. But that was a good first note, and I've had that for 4 years, and it pays me almost $700 a month.
Why Michigan? Or how Michigan?
You got to look at states that are foreclosure friendly, right? If you need to foreclose, you can do it quickly. So you can Google that and see which states are easiest to foreclose on. And these sites that you buy notes off have lists of properties. So that one was the biggest opportunity that I found for what I wanted to spend and return and all that stuff. So
do you work with a lot of investors, or is this, you're at the point where you're doing this for yourself, but
right.
I would think you could get to the point where if you just did this for other people, you could make 10 times the amount.
Yeah, we sell a lot of our properties to investors. A lot of them don't understand the note or the debt game, but I love it. I'm trying to get people to owe me as much money as possible, right? And then you don't really have to worry about anything. And so far, I think I've only foreclosed on one person so far, and it was on a land deal, and I got paid a ton of fees and stuff from them paying late all the time, and I sold it for more than I bought it for. So it was like the best deal I ever did.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd love to. I now I'm like my new shiny object. I'm like,
well, it's like I'm gonna let's say I want to buy a $500,000 rental property. What, I gotta lay down 100 grand just to get in the game. And then I got to fix the place up. I got to take on all that debt to maybe cash flow, maybe if you're lucky, a few $100 a month. Yeah. On like a little note that I create, like a really small one, I'll cash flow 300 plus a month off of it, right? So, awesome. But the good ones I'll get 11, 12, 1,300 a month off of.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to spend some more time with you offline talking about that.
But that's what I'm super passionate about. I love seller finance note creation, and it's all math. We use the 10 BII calculator, and based on people's down payment, or if they're kind of squawking about a higher interest rate that we're offering, okay, let me shorten your term down and let me collect more down payment from you, and I can still hit the return. So our minimum target cash on cash returns 20%. I'm probably averaging, no joke, probably close to 50. So,
amazing. You can't do that in the stock market. I mean, this is...
you can if you get lucky, but it's not guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing it. They're getting lucky to do it.
Okay.
So it's gambling. You want to go play red and black at the roulette wheel, or you want to go...
I want to get a note. I want to get a note. Mom wants a note. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm learning more about this now that I'm in the industry, and this is exactly what makes me pumped. It's not just W-2 and then sale. It's just there's so many different avenues and opportunities to be able to grow your wealth, like you said. That's pretty impressive to have 100K passive income a year. I want to be you when I grow up.
Yeah, that's the goal. So now I'm working with a business coach. I have a little bit of shiny object chaser goals, and I'm trying to monetize our clients on every level, which that's what we're trained to do. But my coach is always just like, hey, there's a million ways you can make $100,000 a year, but you need to focus on the ones you can make, $1 million a year kind of thing. So he's like, you're doing well in this note creation thing. Why don't you just go, how do you double, triple down on that? So now I'm pulling new area and adding new mailers and adding new marketing to try to triple down and speed that process up faster.
And how did you get connected with your business coach? Who is your business coach?
Brett Tanner. So he's been in the game forever. The guy's a monster. He's in pretty much every real estate business that you can get into. When you do deal with him, you see his affiliated business arrangement agreement. It's like this long. He's got movers and title companies and warranty companies and lenders, and he's monetizing every angle that he possibly can. But he's been in the game for a long time. I went through coaching on different platforms for a long time, and I learned a little bit, and then I'd get with some coaches and mentors that are like, I feel like these guys are just listening to me and writing down everything I'm saying to tell someone else. So then I was like, I'm done with this for a while. And then one of my good buddies that I'd watched his business grow, he started out a good agent, hustling, grinding, working his tail off, and he was doing really well. Then all of a sudden, boom, he's got this huge team. He's doing 600 transactions a year, and he's in the investing side. He's doing development. He's doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, what the heck? And he's like, hey man, my mentor's got an opportunity for you to get in, and I thought of you if you want to. And at the time, it was like $2,500 a month to talk to him once or twice a month, So I was like, that's a lot of money. And I was married at the time, and that was causing some stress. I wanted to go do this, and she's like, what the heck? You're gonna spend more than our mortgage on this? What are you doing? And she came from a corporate background and world, and so she didn't understand what it's like to be kind of on your own. But I trusted my friend, and I saw what he was doing in his business. So I was like, I'm gonna go for it. And then it was one of the best things that I ever did. So
I think that's the biggest thing with people is being able to take the risk, spend money to make money, take so many steps back to be able to go. I mean, could you imagine when you were should I spend $2,500 a month? Now, I mean, look at how that's come full circle. That's
totally
really impressive.
And I mean, you gotta take advice from someone that's a doer and not a bullshitter and actually doing the stuff they're telling you. There's a lot of coaching and mentorship and life coach gurus out there that don't do anything. They just claim to do all that stuff. But the guy was in the weeds. He does it. He has all the businesses. So it's essentially, he's got the blueprints for all these different businesses, ancillary businesses in the real estate industry. And it's whatever angle you want to go, I can help you kind of build it out. And here's exactly what you need to do. So
that's awesome.
And he's pretty much forbid me to do some stuff along the way that, thank God I didn't do it, because I could have knocked me out of the game, I forbid you to close on this deal. I forbid you to buy this, basically, and thank God I didn't, because that would have been, yeah. You get excited, you want to get a deal, and you want to be a deal junkie, and you just want to do something that doesn't necessarily make sense. No, just get more opportunities in front of you.
Do you still work with him every month?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been with him for 6 or 7 years now.
Is he local?
Yeah, he lives here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now he's got a whole group that I have one-on-one coaching with him, but he's got a whole group of some of the biggest investors, retail agents, wholesalers in the country called Be Wealthy, and we have 3 events a year where everyone gets together, and they have all kinds of high-level people, and they're talking tax strategy and all kinds of different things. And then we have like a weekly call where we usually have somebody on a higher level talking to everybody about cool stuff, right? So
Cool.
yeah,
I'm intrigued.
it's a good group.
Yeah, you had me at 100,000 in passive income.
Yeah.
I like
So you
it.
gotta start thinking different, right? Because I don't want, like, something could happen to me today or tomorrow. I've got 2 kids I gotta take care of, you know. So it's like, what happens if I get hurt, right? Or can't work or don't want to work? It's the whole thing. I'll probably always want to work, but so it's just like, how high do I want to ratchet? And like, now that we have multiple businesses and multiple people to be responsible for, it's like, I'm responsible for them. So how can I generate income to come in that's going to take care of everyone and make sure they're okay, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I'd like, I mean, that's the goal, is to get to that point. You know, I don't want to be hustling every day for the next 15 years, working
Right.
7 days a week. Right now it's exciting, and I'm building my brand and everything, but I'd like to get to that point. So I'm definitely interested in learning more about that.
Yeah, a lot of people in my groups are a lot younger than me and have amazing lives. They got a lot of passive income. They just travel and take off for a month and come back to their business, whatever they want to do, you know. So pretty cool stuff when you actually see people doing it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you gained value. If you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and comment below on anything you want to hear about in the future. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.